News broke today. Ross Dellinger was first, as always, it seems, but they were discussing it. They were talking about it. They were trying to get this vote passed through, and sure enough, they did. The college football playoff format is changing again. So if you're keeping score at home, 2 years ago it was a 14 playoff. Last year, it was a 12-team playoff where the 4 byes had to be conference champions. Guaranteed conference champions were only the ones that got the bye. As a result, the games weren't seeded the way they probably should have been, and people attribute the lofty scores in the first round to, or the bad matchups and the big point spreads to that very thing right there, that it wasn't the 4 best teams. You gave it to conference champions, and you got a boring playoff as a result. They've changed that. And then, oh, by the way, after this season, they'll go to 16. So that's 4 different playoff formats in 4 years. However, this year, straight seeding is what it is. The teams will be seeded 1 through 12, and they will be bracketed accordingly. That vote happened earlier today, and that is what it will be. So, taking last year's rankings and building the bracket, this is what it would have looked like. No bye for Boise State, no bye for Arizona State. This is what it would have been. Oregon, the number 1 overall seed, getting a bye. They would have played the winner of Indiana and Boise State. An infinitely better football game that would have been. Georgia, the number 2 overall seed, playing the winner of Tennessee and SMU. Ugly quarterback play abounds in that one. Texas, the number 3 overall seed, playing the winner of Ohio State and Arizona State. And finally, Penn State, the 4, playing the winner of Notre Dame and Clemson. So, what do you think?
You're correct in a couple of things here. Those first round games probably a little bit more competitive than what we got. I know Oregon would love to have rather played Indiana than played the Ohio State buzzsaw. I'm not a huge fan of changing up the playoff. I certainly don't like all these auto bids that apparently are coming down the pipe. But this is just something that makes sense, right? It just makes sense. Like, it just doesn't. It works to have the rankings be the seeding. That's just how it makes more sense, because the highest seeded teams should be the best teams. The best teams earned those byes, not just because you won. You can't look at somebody with a straight face and tell me that you thought Boise State was a better team than Georgia was last year, or Arizona State, Texas, or any of those teams. So, and I'd love to see those games, but the next step for me has got to be getting the second round into the home sites. It's got to happen at some point.
But here's the thing, it won't, because we're going to 16.
Yeah. Well, maybe
and then you will get the first round all at host sites,
yeah,
which everybody will have one. But
yeah,
this is the right decision.
Yeah,
it would have. I mean, my goodness, Tennessee SMU would have been a better game than Tennessee Ohio State. Although I thought Tennessee getting beat as badly as they did was super compelling. I know not everybody loved that game. I enjoyed watching it, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I was fascinated by that result being what it was. I mean, Ohio State. I mean, it was a great coaching job from Ryan Day, if you think about it. How down everybody was there after another loss to Michigan. And they played like garbage in that loss to Michigan. Mm-hmm. Tennessee fans, there are 40,000 Tennessee fans in the Horseshoe. And they walked into that place so confident. And they got their rear ends whooped from the second that ball was snapped in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. So I was compelled watching that result, but I know why a lot of you guys weren't. That game would be better, though. Ohio State, Arizona State, I don't know if Arizona State would have had the horses to run with Ohio State. Nobody did. Notre Dame, Clemson would have been awesome.
I would have loved to have seen Scatterbo in Columbus.
Would
have been so much fun.
Little snow falling as well.
Oh, I mean, you're just born for it. Come on, man.
Notre Dame, Clemson would have been awesome.
Yeah.
That would have been an awesome football game.
It'd been really good.
And then Indiana, Boise State, like I said, that would have been an awesome football game. That's a team that Boise State would have been able to line up against and just run the football against. as opposed to Penn State, where you knew, okay, Boise State, they can't block these dudes.
Right.
Genty's great, and he too many people in the draft process did Genty struggled against Penn State. You didn't watch. You didn't watch him play against Penn State if you think that he struggled.
Yeah.
He was awesome that night. The 5 guys in front of him,
not good.
Not good.
Yeah.
Compared to them anyway. So this is better. This will make more sense this year. It's easier to digest. I mean, the number of times on these playoff things that they released, it's here's the rankings and here's the seeds, and they're not the same. It was hard to follow. What I'm concerned about, though, is the volume of changes. Like 4 playoff formats in 4 years is absolutely insane. It's nuts. It makes no sense. Could you imagine any other sport? Hey, this year, this is going to be our playoff this time. Mm-hmm. It's Bush League is what it is. And if you are yet another thing, they're all small things. On the surface, this isn't a big deal, right? We're changing the format again slightly, no big deal. But you are just continuing to make it more difficult to understand what's happening in college football.